Login accepted.
Okay, we're gonna run through everything again real quick because a couple people joined. To get access to the RvB Playground environment and RvB in general, you're going to need to go to our link tree. It's linktr.ee/calpolyswift, and then go over to the SDC VPN profile download right here. You're gonna click on it and download it, and then go to, oh wait, I should just open a new tab.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good. And download PryTunnel, which is a VPN. Um, Here, and then just install whichever OS you have. So here's Linux, here's Mac and Windows. I can't download it on the school computer, but this is where you download it. After you do that, just run the installer, and then you're going to import this VPN that you downloaded. And then the credentials for that are, the username is SDC, and then the password is 141252. I'll just retype it in chat. Ooh. Cool. And then after that, open another like browser and then go to HTTP, not S, just HTTP, and then :/elsa.sdc.cpp. And then if I were on the VPN, it would be here. And then you might hit a thing that says like this site is risky or like don't proceed, but it's okay. Just click like more and proceed. And then you'll hit our vSphere. And then we will send you the username and password to that. But everything also is on the Camino guide on our link tree. You only need to read the first page really. So download the VPN profile and then either PyTunnel or OpenVPN, but I use PyTunnel. And then import the VPN profile and then connect with the creds and you should be good to go. So we'll do this together. Go on our link tree. And then I'm going to SCC profile download. Oh, and then download. Okay, there it is. And then this is when I would go over to PyTunnel. Go all the way down, and then for me, I would download this one. I already have it though, so I'll just pull it up on my computer. And then this is when you would click import, like up here, and then click browse under import profile, and then that's where you would select SDC VPN. But I already have it in, as you can see here. So after this, you just click connect. And then username is SDC, and then password is 141252. And then it might take like a couple seconds to connect. Oh wait, was it VPN? I think I did it wrong. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, now you can see we're online. So after that, I'd go over to elsa.sdc.cpp. And then yeah, it says your connection's not private, but that's okay. Hit advanced and then proceed. And then this is what you should see. if you've connected to the VPN, and then you just click launch. And then everyone should be like at the screen now. If everything worked properly. If it didn't, let me know. And then the creds that Clemens are sending out right now is what you would put like right here. Let's see. The profile URL, you can get it on our link tree. So let me just yeah. So if you go on our link tree, it will be this one, SDC VPN profile download right here. Yes. Let me know if that works or doesn't work. Oh, that's a good question, Annabelle. The playground will be open until next Friday?
Yes.
Yes, so we'll leave it up for an entire week for you guys.
Alrighty. Hello, everyone. Apologies for taking so much time. I believe credentials are currently being sent out. If they have not been sent out, then please reach out to either myself or Raymond, and we will try to get that to you sometime in the next 10 minutes. But in the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and go over a little bit of this environment. I believe I'm not actually sharing on Zoom. Give me a second. Alrighty. So we have given you guys 3 boxes to go ahead and play around with, and we've gone ahead and done a couple of funky things to them. So let's go ahead and start with the first box, which is going to be an Ubuntu box. I'm going to go ahead and launch this remote console. It's going to pop up and eventually. So the exact network details are not going to be the same in the competition next week. However, yes, I want to trust this host. However, all the boxes will indeed be on a 10.10 private network. That's going to be your LAN. So you can expect all the boxes to be somewhere within there. This thing's waiting for connection. Eventually. And a software update. Thank you very much. Alrighty. How do... I think I accidentally shut it down by doing Control-Alt-Delete. Okay. Yeah, I accidentally did. Oh, I think I restarted the computer. There we go. Anyway, to show this bigger. Full screen. More stuff. No? Okay. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to deal with this really, really, really tiny display for now. So this is this is an Ubuntu Server 22.04 installation. Now, if anybody was here on Tuesday, you might recognize that particular name. In fact, Ubuntu 22.04 will be one of the operating systems provided on the day of the competition. The user login for this is going to be John Cyberstrike, spelled as follows. And your password is going to be Cyberstrike1 exclamation with a capital C at the beginning. Of course, that's assuming I typed it in correctly. And there we go. As you guys can see, now we are inside of this box. Now, I have set up 1 or 2 things, including one vulnerability that will potentially be found in the actual competition environment. So from here, you guys are free to go ahead and try to install things, try to mess around in these boxes, try to find the vulnerability that I've added here, and just generally test up your setups and get ready for the competition next week. In fact, if I'm not wrong, there's going to be a little bit of trolling that I've done. The first person to yell it out will receive a high five, I guess. So yeah, I guess that does it for the Ubuntu box. So now I'm going to go ahead and go to the WS19 box. Going to go ahead and wait for the connection here. By the way, if you have not if you are having trouble getting into the practice environment, please at this time raise your hand and one of us will be able to come and help you out. Alrighty, so now we can see the Windows Server 2019 box. As you guys might have noticed, if you were here on the Tuesday meeting, Windows Server 2019 is going to be one of the boxes that will be provided on the day of the competition. So here I'm going to go ahead and do, there we go. So this is going to be joined to a domain called cyberstrike.core, and the user is going to be administrator. It's going to be the same password. It's going to be cyberstrike1 exclamation with a capital C, as you guys can see on the screen right now. And here we are on the Server 19 installation. As I've mentioned before, this is currently set up to be the domain controller for the entire environment and also a DNS host. Other than that, I really haven't done too much to this thing, so feel free to enjoy trying to set things up, exploring the domain, exploring what changes to the group policy will do, exploring what changes you can make to random registry keys, so on and so forth. If you've never used Windows before, I highly recommend just checking out the Active Directory Administrative Center because this is a central location from which you can do a whole bunch of things. If I go to the Domain Controllers tab here, you guys can see now that we have two domain controllers for this domain. We have a Windows Server 19 and a Windows Server 16 domain controller. This is done on purpose. Server 19 is currently set up as the primary domain controller, and we have Server 16 as the secondary domain controller that is fully replicating the Server 19 domain. This is going to closely mirror the setup that you will find on the actual competition day. So take note that whatever changes you make to the WS19 will also be reflected across the entire domain. And that's the wrong one. That's the correct one. Last but not least, we're going to take a look at the Windows Server 2016. Once this thing eventually loads up. As you guys can see, this is fully domain joined, and if I do the same password, cyberstrike1 exclamation with a capital C, we can also see that Sydney's laptop is starting to run low. So I need to plug it in. John Cyberstrike. For the Ubuntu box, and then for the other ones, just log in with administrator. There's the second plug there. Thank you. There we go.
Hello?
Thank you very much, Sydney. Hello. I am currently going over the environment. If you could please stay muted until I am finished with everything. Thank you very much. So next we're going to go through the Windows 2016 box. For some reason, I think I forgot to install VM tools on this, but whatever. So you guys can see that this is also currently set up as a Active Directory domain controller. Now, the Windows Server 2016 box is going to be a little bit interesting because we have set up two vulnerabilities on this box. If you can find these two vulnerabilities, then just feel free to shout it out and maybe we'll give you a high five or something. And other than that, I think I am done going over this environment. Once again, this environment will be open until the end of next week, next Friday, right before the competition. If you guys have any questions regarding anything in this environment, feel free to contact either myself or anybody on eBoard, and we'll get back to you with an answer eventually. And please don't contact me after 3 a.m. because I'll probably be asleep. And yeah, now we will open the floor to questions from people on Zoom and people in the room. In addition, if you are listening currently and if you have not joined the competition Discord, please do so now. We're going to be using this to share the briefing packet and get your team assignments out there tomorrow. So please make sure you're added to the Discord. Thank you very much. Okay, so I have a question on Zoom. How would you recommend starting to look for these vulnerabilities? So if you remember back to my talk on Tuesday, I talked a little bit about reconnaissance. Now, reconnaissance is incredibly important because this is how you're going to find any known vulnerabilities. For example, I talked a little bit about a FTP vulnerability. If you can find a version of FTP that is vulnerable, then bam, that you should probably patch that thing. And the best thing about all these known CVEs, or I forgot what CVE stands for, but anyways, the best part about all of these is that these are all publicly documented and their fixes are also publicly documented. In most cases, as long as you update to a newer version of that software, you're probably mitigated from it. I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't, please feel free to yell at me on Zoom. For the boxes, for the Windows boxes, your username is administrator. It should already be pre-filled in. The password is going to be cyberstrike1 exclamation capital C. And for the Ubuntu box, it's going to be John Cyberstrike with your password cyberstrike1 exclamation capital C. Honestly, if I were you guys, I'd get used to that password because you're going to see that a lot during the competition.
Okay, hopefully you guys got a little bit with the environment just to like look around, see what it's like. Right now we're just gonna send you a first inject to do for practice. This might be something we have you do during actual RvB, but it's your basic inventory inject. So for this, we're asking you to provide us a report with all the host names that you have, operating systems, their IP addresses, all their open ports and services, and then a list of all user accounts. And then additionally, list out which services and programs are essential or unnecessary and what your plans are to secure them. And then I'll write it all out in a report. And then for practice purposes, we're not going to check any of them. I mean, if you want us to check them, you can DM it to me on Discord or Clemens. But yeah, this is just for your practice, so you can put it on like whatever notepad or Word doc. But yeah, have fun.
Hello?
Hi, what's up?
Hey, I'm on the web client for the Ubuntu box, and I remember you guys saying that copy and paste, you can copy and paste. I was just trying to figure out how to copy and paste.
Okay, so what you want to do when you're copying pasting is you want to, okay, so are you on the web console or are you on the remote console?
I'm on the web console right now.
Okay, I don't know how to do it on the web console. I know how to do it on the remote console, not the web console.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, like you have to kind of click at the top of the page, like not the address bar area, but like just the top, right on top of the like where the screen's going to be. And if you just like Control V there, it should work. If you have VM tools installed, and I believe I installed VM tools, at least I'm like 70% sure I did. If I didn't, then it's not going to work.
Okay. I'll try it on the remote console.
If it doesn't work, you could also try doing sudo apt install open-vm-tools, and that would install the VM tools if I haven't installed them.
Okay.
No, not there. Files like right here. Yeah.
You said sudo apt install open/vm.tools.
Sudo apt install open-vm-tools. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, for copy paste, it might only work on the remote console.
All right. Yeah, I thought so. Okay, thank you.
Alrighty, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and go through a little bit of this practice inject that we have given you. So as you guys can see here, the inject says that we're going to do a little bit of inventory. For each device, please provide us hostname, operating system, IP address, open ports and services, list of user accounts. Additionally, please list which services and programs are essential or unnecessary and what your plans are to secure ports and services. Get it all listed out in a clean report. Alrighty, so first of all, can anybody here tell me what the host name of the Ubuntu box is? Going once. Yes, sir. That would be the username to log in, but that is not the host name of the system. We have an answer in chat. I am not looking at chat. Yes, that is correct. The answer is Ubuntu because I was very simple last night and I literally named it Ubuntu. So wait a second. Show only on one. Yes, keep changes. Blah 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 blah. This way I should be able to see it better. Okay, there we go. So then what is the operating system of the Ubuntu box? I mean, this one's kind of self-explanatory, but for bonus points or like for maximum points, you would want to list not only the operating system, but also its version and possibly build number. Yes, that is correct. Ubuntu 22.04.5 LTS. That is a perfect answer. We would score that with probably full marks. What is the IP address of the Ubuntu box? That is the command to find the IP address, but that is not, in fact, the IP address of the box. Does anyone have the IP address of the Ubuntu box? 10.10.0.2 is unfortunately not correct. Yes, it is 10.10.0.22/24. That is the correct answer for the IP address one. Now, in terms of open ports and services, I'm going to spare you the open ports part because technically every single port is open right now because I did not configure a firewall. But which services are currently running on the Ubuntu box? And to answer in the chat, if you do not include the /24, we're not going to mark you down. But having the /24 is a more complete answer. Does anyone know what services are currently running on the Ubuntu box?
FTP.
Yes, there is supposed to be an FTP running. Anybody else? There's one more service for the Ubuntu. This one might be tricky if you haven't encountered this before. Port 53 systemd resolve. That is not a service that I have set up. I think that's a default system service. Port 53, that sounds familiar to me.
Is it NTP?
Oh, 53 is DNS. Yes, NTP is the correct answer. Now, if anybody here is wondering what NTP is, that stands for Network Time Protocol. And that basically means that the Ubuntu server is providing a time reference for the other computers. So those would be the open ports and services. Now, if you were to simply just say NTP, FTP on your inject report, that's fine. We'll give you some points for it. But if you really want to be more thorough with it, give us the version numbers, give us what else is there. And that would get you full points. Now, there is only one user account I have configured on the Ubuntu system. What is that user account?
John Cyberstrike.
That is absolutely correct. The only user currently on the Ubuntu box that I've added is the John Cyberstrike user. Now, what permissions does John Cyberstrike have? Would you consider John Cyberstrike an administrator, or would you consider John Cyberstrike a standard user? People in the room can feel free to answer too. Anybody know what type of permissions John Cyberstrike has? Kenneth apparently doesn't know.
Admin perms, sudo. They're in the sudo group.
That is absolutely correct. John Cyberstrike is a sudo user, and he is allowed to do anything he wants to the system. So if you were to write out a report like this, you'd probably do, Sydney, is this like a document I can edit? Awesome. Oh, perfect. So we are grading these injects also on professionalism. So if you're writing, it's like, yo, what's up? This entire system is full of this crap, and if you don't know what else, then screw you. Yeah, you're gonna get deducted points for professionalism. So you want to do something a little bit more like this. So yes, this is a little bit wordy. It is pretty formal, but this is what we are looking for, because in the real corporate environment, you probably don't want to message your boss like a one-line email, because then your boss might be like, bro, what? So you would say something like, you could just do like bullet points here. If you want to be even more correct, you have to state that this is Ubuntu server, because this is not running the desktop environment. Okay, so this answer that I have provided for the Ubuntu box would get you a majority of the points for this one box. Since I am not including service versions and ports for FTP and NTP, I would probably deduct like 1 or 2 small points there. But otherwise, this would be considered complete for specifically for the Ubuntu box. Now, I'm not going to go through and talk about the other operating systems. But if you want to have this example inject scored, go ahead and send those injects to myself, and I will send back what I think it would get in the actual competition environment. I'm gonna go ahead and move this thing to the bottom so that you guys can read the entire thing.
Hello.
Hello there.
For the part when it talked about open ports, I tried to run Nmap and I didn't get any open ports. I mean, I guess that's because the firewall wasn't enabled yet. So I guess in the real competition, it would have the firewall on, right?
I will say right now there's going to be 0 firewall enabled in the actual competition environment.
Okay. So we would have to enable everything and then I guess Nmap scan for anything on the open ports, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, an Nmap scan would be perfect to
Okay.
identify everything.
Okay.
Some of you guys might be wondering which services are going to be considered necessary during the competition. Now, I have not provided this right now because this is just the practice round, but tomorrow you guys will be receiving a briefing packet. That is an excellent reminder to myself that I need to finish that stat. This briefing packet will include the entirety of the environment inside of it. It'll include the operating systems, the names of those OSs, the host names of those boxes, and every single critical service as well as every single authorized user on those boxes. Now, when we say critical services, these are the services that are being scored and cannot be shut down. So for example, if DNS was being scored and you shut down DNS, well, obviously you're not going to get your points. So if it's being scored, then it's pretty safe to say that you have to keep it up. Now, we have approximately 20 minutes until we are going to be done here today. I guess I'm supposed to give advice about what to do. As somebody who has suffered through 1 RvB and made other people suffer through like 4 more, I can say that definitely just getting to know your operating systems is going to be key. It is far better to know how to manipulate a file system than it is to know how to break that file system, but not be able to do it because you're struggling to remember how exactly to move from one directory to another. So getting familiar with your operating systems, going into things like try hack me's, hack the boxes, learning how red team might get into certain boxes, that's very useful because then you'll know how red team will get in. And if you know how they'll get in, then you can potentially patch that and prevent them from getting in that particular way. And just generally speaking, minimizing your attack surface is going to be crucial. What is one way to minimize your attack surface that is extremely easy to do and takes less than like 5 minutes? Anyone got an idea? Oh, hi, Bryce. I didn't see you there. Anybody have an idea? Very simple way to reduce your attack surface. Okay, new password. That is absolutely correct. Changing your passwords is always going to be very good. It means that red team cannot use their default passwords to get in. But what is another way for you to go ahead and reduce your attack surface? I will give you a hint. This word starts with an F and it ends with an L. Who said that? That is correct. A firewall is perfect because you can use this to limit access to ports. Now, that being said, a firewall is not a surefire way to make sure that red team can't get in. As I recall, one security expert once telling me, literally everybody has firewalls. So just having a firewall isn't going to protect your services. However, it will make sure that any sneaky services getting in on any additional areas will not be exploitable. So before we go ahead and wrap up for the day, does anybody have any questions regarding the competition, regarding teams, regarding anything that will come up within the next week? Anybody have any questions? Questions, going once, going twice. Looks like this auction is failing with questions sold for $0 and 0 cents. We are going to wrap this up in 15 minutes.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
I noticed on the Ubuntu that a lot of tools are not installed. Is that going to be the same during the competition?
When you say a lot of tools, what do you mean?
Like I'm trying to use Nmap on the Ubuntu, but the Nmap has to be installed first.
That's probably because that's basically with the Ubuntu box, I just created the virtual machine from an ISA I downloaded from their website and just kind of set like 1 or 2 things up and called it a day. We're not obviously doing that for the competition, but what you're seeing is essentially what comes directly with Ubuntu already. So basically any specialty tools like Nmap, Netcat, Netstat probably all have to be downloaded. I don't think Git is even included in Ubuntu by default.